be more. They'll take away the. Perfect. Yeah.
Okay, great.
But is it
So I think
starting?
we're ready. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Thank you everyone for coming to our first 12 educational event. And this is a topic which I'm particularly it's very close to my heart because 4 years ago, I was in a room similar to this one in a presentation like this, and it completely changed my life in terms of public speaking. I was having fun and enjoying myself until the moment I was asked to come on stage and present myself. And imagine, even though I knew half of the people in the room, I froze. I started looking at the ceiling, and I thought, okay, how difficult it could be to say a couple words about myself, but apparently it was very challenging in front of so many eyes staring at you. And I mumbled a couple words and rushed immediately to my chair. But that didn't discourage me, but motivated me to continue the journey of public speaking and attempt every day to make steps towards that and go to regular meetings where I felt comfortable learning and presenting my ideas to other people. And public speaking, it's a skill which can help you not only professionally to inspire people, to motivate them, influence others, pass your ideas to your colleagues, your boss, but also in your personal life, among your family, your loved ones, and your friends. So very happy to see so many people in the room today, and we have prepared a very exciting program for you. So we'll start with a presentation from our guest, Asgard. Then afterwards, we will have workshops, 2 interesting workshops for you where you will have the chance to practice the skills that Asgard will present to you. And at the end, we'll have some networking so we can enjoy the rest of the snacks. Exciting, right?
Yay!
Yes. Yeah. So how can you become a better public speaker? We invited for that our external guest, Asgard Lindholm, and he's a professional speaker trainer who also has a PhD. He is a TEDx speaker trainer at TEDx Frederiksberg. And in his spare time, he's enjoying his time with his 3 little kids and changing diapers. So please give a warm welcome to Asgard.
Thank you so much. Now, if you would like to become a more charismatic, confident, and speaker with more impact, then please raise your hand right now. Awesome, I'm in the right place. Thank you so much. See, this is the first thing I have for you today, how you can take the stage and really engage with your audience. First thing. The second part I want to give you is a simple structure. Because once you have a structure, you know what you need to say, in what sequence, everything else becomes easier. And the system I'm going to give you, after the day, you can see that there are so many speakers that use this. If you go and see some of Steve Jobs' great presentation, you can see, yeah, this and this, it fits in it. So there are so many ways you can use this in a business presentation. If you are giving a lecture, this is a great system, and I think it will really revolutionize the way you make presentations. But before we kind of get into the nitty-gritty details, I want to do a little exercise with you, because Marilla, you also talked a little bit about fear. It's a big thing when we are dealing with public speaking. I know it in my own life, it is always there. So how can you beat that fear? Because it will come. Is it a problem that you're afraid? Well, to some degree it is, because we mirror each other. So when I feel good, the audience will feel good. And you know that on a gut level. Maybe you're having a fantastic day and you walk into this room, which is dead. You cannot help not being affected by this. On the other hand, maybe you are having a terrible day and you come into Trustpilot and you see all your good colleagues and you just light up. Isn't that right? So it's so important that you get in the right state. And how can you do that? There is a simple way you can do it. There's a number of techniques, but I'm going to share with you a very, very powerful technique. So I want you all to stand up. Everyone, please stand up. And now take both of your arms up like this. All right. So what you're doing right now is called power pose. What's happening right now, your body is telling your brain that you are a winner, that you are a winner, that you are a winner, that you are a winner. Because we have, yes, that's right. I want to get that feeling out there because you are a winner. What happens when Usain Bolt crosses that finish line? Automatically, he puts those arms up. He's not thinking, oh, I've got to do this. It's a subconscious thing we're doing when we're feeling good. And this has been measured in several tests. What is happening is your winner hormone, testosterone, is going to go up. About 15 to 20%, just 2 minutes. See, this is also called the dominance hormone because you are taking charge. And when you're up here, you better be the leader because people want to be led. They want to be led when you're here. They want to be in safe hands that you are guiding them on the route. See, this is the one thing that's going to happen. The other thing is you get less of the big killer. The big killer today is cortisol. So many people out here are stressed, sitting in front of computers, having terrible managers, pushing them, pressuring them. Here, it's a great company, so it's not the case, right? But you get less cortisol, right? So 15, 20% less of that, just 2 minutes less. So you start feeling better, less stressed in 2 minutes. Are you getting some exercise?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, good. I want you to keep your arms up a little bit more. You're getting a bonus exercise here today. And if you want to know more about it, go in and check the TED Talk by Amy Cuddy. Amy Cuddy, TED Talk. It's about, I think, the second or third most watched TED Talk. What we're doing right now is based on her research. All right, good. Thank you. Sit down. Give yourself a big hand. All right, we're going. All right, so let's get to it. How do you make a great start? The system I'm going to give you is called 5S because there are 5 things. All of them start with an S. The first thing is start. I have 5 things in the start. We cannot do all 5 today because we just have half an hour. But the first thing you want to do in this start system is you want to start with A. What is the one thing that is important when you're making a presentation? Your audience. They're actually the only thing that's really important. So you want to share very quickly with your audience, what are you going to give them? I shared that with you. I shared what's on the menu, right? How did I do that? What's on the menu? Can you remember that? Come on, couple hands. What's on the menu? Do you remember? How did I start? It's going very bad. You know, okay? How did I start?
You're going to teach us a technique or public presentations?
Yes. What's your name?
Myra.
Myra. Give Myra a big hand. Awesome. So what I did was I asked you a question, and I had you raise your arm. So then you automatically become activated. If you're looking in the computer, phone, whatever's happening, you got to get away from that. That is what is happening. Plus, subconsciously, you're all raising your arm. You say, okay, I better follow along. This is what's happening. So something active can be a great way to start your speech. A question, for instance, could be a story, whatever it is. So that's one thing. The next thing in this start system is the S. You need to build the subject. It needs to be important because maybe you're thinking, hey, public speaking is not the most important thing. You've seen the menu, but like, nah, it's not really for me. Then you need to tell them why this is important. You know that it's important, that's why you came. But let's say I could be talking about how important it is that you learn this skill. Because if you're out at a client and you never ever bring home an order, what is going to happen to your paycheck? It's going to flat rate because your speech is probably flat. Or what is also going to happen is you're probably going to increase in your projects. You're going to be doing more or less the same things. So I could be talking about how important it is that you can share your information, your ideas, your products. You need to be able to do this. Also, if you happen one day to start your own company, you need to be able to share those visions, those dreams, those product ideas. And also in private life, there's a lot of times if you're at a wedding, a birthday, you want to have that great story where people listen and you entertain people. So there are a number of cases where it's important that you could build in the very beginning. So start, we're just going to do 2 today, which is audience. Automatically start with what's in it for the audience and build the subject. All right. Second part is something you're most likely not doing enough. Yes, I'm provoking you a little bit. You're probably not doing enough of this. Struggle. You need to build the struggle in your presentation. Because every good presentation is all about a problem you eventually want to solve. But you need to really make more time for this. So people are sitting there and wondering, oh, I gotta get that solution. But you don't want to give it to them too early. So what can you talk about? You could talk about a classical thing, time. How can you give your clients more time? That's the only thing we can't buy. If I was a billionaire, I would never ever trade. I would buy time. That's the only thing I would buy, right? And even if, I wouldn't trade a day for $1 billion. Time is valuable. So can you make sure that people spend less time, maybe on boring things, then you have a good case. You could talk about economy. How can you make more money with your solution or idea? How much money are you losing because we keep doing this? Those are 2 classical examples. But you also want to find something that's maybe less common. Maybe in public speaking, it could be getting out of your comfort zone. That could help you. Imagine what that could do to other areas of your life. If you start expanding that comfort zone, and it could be stress, could be a lot of different things. So you really want to share what is the pain points. There are actually 2 things that move people. Pain away from something, and pleasure towards something. Psychology doesn't need to be complicated, and motivation does not need to be complicated. So you really want to dig in, what is it that's the pain? And a good thing you can think about is what I call the 3 F's. First, you want to share your first times, not your first time, but your first times. Something you did your first time because it probably didn't go very well. I remember the first speaking job I had. I was so proud because I was paid 1,000 crowns and I was going out and speaking. And I remember waking up 3 at night, just full of cortisol and adrenaline, ready to give that speech. And it's like, look at the clock, I was going, just chill out. It's not now. But okay, this was my first time, so this is how it was. You can share those stories. You can share some failures. If you dare share a failure, you're going to connect with your audience. It is so common we see, oh, I'm the best. Go and share the failure. When I speak, I go out and share some of my failures, and people can relate to that. I remember for many years I wanted to go out and speak and share my message. I was too afraid to do it. So I can share a little story about how one day I sat at home, I was sitting in my couch, and one of my friends, I didn't even know her that well, she shared a story on Facebook. And she wrote, do you want to be a professional public speaker? And I didn't even dare to write, yes, I want to do that. So I just pressed like. And I don't know, for some reason, there were 50 people liking it and lots of comments. She wrote to me, do you want a ticket to this event? And I was just like, oh yeah, of course I want to go. It's a 3-day event, and it's just amazing. And after that event, I knew, okay, this is a skill anybody can learn. I can learn this, you can learn it. Anybody can become a great public speaker. And then things started going. So you can share some of your failures. So I think that was a failure not doing this. I could have done this years ago, but I held back. And if you're truly somebody that is ready to go out and share your failures, you do a fuck up. Something really big, where you really messed up big time. I have a story on, was it Bremen Theater and Narborough Theater, talking about how I was trying to win an ex-girlfriend back, and you can see about that, all the crazy things I did. So anyway, the 3 F's, share them, and you're gonna connect with your audience on a deeper level. This is one of the key things that we are missing today in presentations. Speaking is not so much about information, it's about connection. Because the written form of speaking is great for information, but here you have a chance to connect with your audience. and get them emotional. So this is the verbal part of connecting. But then there's also you can say a body part to it. How do you connect with your audience? The number one thing you can do is eye contact. When I look at you, we connect. Isn't that right?
Yep.
So I want to do a little exercise with you where you get to share with your partner, those next to you, where you find somebody and you would do 3 seconds. 3 seconds with eye contact. Are you ready for that? I will count. Everybody has a partner? Are you ready? You're going to get to know your colleagues a little bit better. Okay? Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, go. 2001, 2002, 2003. All right. That was 3 seconds. And we're going to do 5 now. I'm going to challenge you, and we're going to do 5. All right? 5 seconds. Let me just see what is happening. Okay, 5 seconds. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what happened? What happened? Let me know. Give me some answers here. What happened when you look the other person in the eye?
Different than usually.
Yeah? Okay. How?
Because probably I never looked.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Did you feel a better connection? You got to know each other a little bit? Yeah. Yeah. So by having eye contact, you really get to connect. The challenge is then not to eyeball them down, so it's not intimidating, right? Like, you know that guy? Don't be that guy. Be that guy that softens it with a smile. So you smile and eye contact. And if you're doing a pitch and you just have 2 minutes, you need to have eye contact because you don't have 2 hours and you need to connect quickly. So do more eye contact than usually. Most people will probably do 1 to 2 seconds, like gaze and then not move on, right? Because we feel that tension. And so challenge yourself, do a little bit more, and soften it with a smile. You're going to be so good. What could be other things you could go into if we're talking about struggle? You could talk about maybe myths versus realities. And the myth is you got to be born as a great speaker. This is not the case. We have written historical references from the first teacher in rhetoric, Quintilian. He said it. He wrote it. This is a skill that can be taught, that can be learned. But we tend to just look at the result and just see, oh, he's great, he's amazing, she's so awesome. I could never be that. But we don't know the backstory. And there's a great guy I'm following, he's called Eric Anderson. Wonderful. He's a researcher, and he has done research about 30, 40 years with people in high performance. And they always love to come with stories to him and say, oh no, this guy was just born. And he says every single time they come with that, I find a reason why that person is so amazing. For instance, there was a case, there was a table tennis player. He was just so quick at hitting the balls. And then he discovered when he was young, he went to a club where they didn't have very much space, so he had to be very up front at the table. So he was playing his local club, almost up at the table. So he was just practicing hitting the balls faster than all the other guys. So that was his backstory, right? And we all have those stories. So share a little bit of that, and you're gonna feel a difference. What is happening in the brain is that we're sitting there and we want to know the solution, right? So once we eventually get it, we release dopamine. Feels so good, dopamine. But you gotta get to the point where you are sitting there and thinking, okay, what is happening? I need to know this. But don't give it too quickly. A little bit like a love affair, you gotta be a little bit hard to get, okay? Yeah, you getting me? So, next point in this 5S system is something that is incredibly important. But it's the first thing that is always taken out. It starts with an S, and you know what it is. If you go on YouTube or Google and you write public speaking, you're gonna have tons of things about that. What is it? What is it? It starts with an S that you need to do if you truly want to impact people. The one thing we have been doing for thousands of years. Storytelling, there you go. We need to tell more stories. Those are the things we need. Our brain is built for stories. It's not built for PowerPoint with tons of bullet points. No. There are so many studies. We can recall the information if it's told in a story format. We have a little thing back here in our brain called the neural story net. Kendall Haven, he's the researcher. He had 48 neuroscientists with more than 1,000 participants. They discovered this part of the brain always lights up. And when we get information, we turn it into story. And I'll show it to you in a little bit, that all information we get, we turn it into story. So we might as well tell a story, and you know that will make a difference. I mean, you know it when you're having a presentation. If somebody says, I want to tell a little story. Relax, don't you? Like, this is going to be good. Right? Like, oh, I don't know how to fly, how cool. Heartbeats go up, right? Tell some stories. It's very important. What's in a good story? What are the key elements? I know you know it. Because when I'm sitting at home in my living room with Mila, my little daughter, she'll tell stories. And I'm so crazy and nerdy about this public speaking. I developed my 7C storytelling systems. I'm saying that how many C's is she getting? Is she following the system? But I know, she knows on a gut level how to tell a story. And you know too. So take 30 seconds with your partner or those sitting next to you. How do you tell a good story? What's in a good story? And then we're gonna talk about it together. All right, 30 seconds. How do you tell a great story? What are the elements of the story?
Relate to it. Yeah. I don't know. When I tell a story, I like sharing. I like painting a picture. Like setting a scene. Explaining, okay, where are we? Where should we? Where do I want you to, like, what mental image do I want you to
All right.
Simply words to explain in my art.
And we just set that on our side. Give me a shout out. What are some of the key elements in a great story? What do you need to do? I know you were talking a lot, hopefully about this. Right?
Paint a
Anybody?
picture.
A hero? Who said that? We need characters and we need a hero, right? Very good point. We need a hero. What else do we need?
We need a challenge. Beginning, middle, and end.
Sure, there needs to be a beginning, a middle, and an end. Definitely. True. What else? We had the hero. What's the hero doing?
We need a challenge.
A challenge. Yes, a challenge. Everything starts with a challenge. Because the boring story is the hero went up, oh, I killed the dragon, I went home. Took all the gold. All right, no problem, right? We got to have a conflict. Why that dragon cannot be beaten, right? So, and who's the dragon? What character is that? Villain, right? Villain. So there's two characters: a villain, a hero. But we need a third character.
Princess.
Yeah. But the hero, Superman, Batman, and all the other super characters, what do they always have? Yeah, they have cool outfit. That's a good point. What do they have? They have backstory, true.
Superpowers.
They have superpowers, but there's also one thing they don't have. They have a flaw. They have something that's they have something they troubled with.
And the killer.
And how do they get help? They need a mentor. So in a good story, there's a helper. There's always a helper. That could be a book. That could be a person, whatever it is, because the hero needs help. Because a hero that can do anything, we don't find him, we don't relate to him. We all have problems, we all have challenges, and we need advice. So the good story is somebody that gets help. Maybe it's, I read this book, this chain, I met that dude. And then you can brag a little bit because, oh, I didn't discover it, he did, and I just followed his advice. And then I'm here, blah, 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 right? Makes sense? So we need some characters, a conflict. That's essentially a good story. Then you're pretty much there. You can build upon it, but essentially that's what you want to do. So it's not about how much information you can share. It's about how much you can change their mindset and beliefs so they want to take in your information. Did you get that one? It's not about how much information you can share. It's about how much you can change their mindset and beliefs so they want to take your information. Way too often we just bombard people with information And it's like, yeah, no, it's good advice, but what are you gonna go home and do? Probably nothing. But if you hear a good story where you're emotionally involved and you start believing in this, like when I went to that seminar, that was great information. But the biggest thing I took with me was I can do this. I had that feeling, okay, this is possible. I could have read tons of books, you just have to do this and this and this, which is true. But if information was the only thing we needed, we would all be millionaires with six packs. Isn't that true? You know, it's not hard to get in shape. Go out, run a little bit more, eat the right kind of food, that's it. And the books out there, how to make tons of money. But you need also the story. So it's the most important thing. Don't take it out, my friends. But it's always the thing, when I talk with people and I work with them, it's like, oh, I don't have time, I don't have so much time, so I'm gonna take it out. Start with the story, the conflict. So good. You gotta have that. So we're gonna do a little exercise so you can remember this. Everybody stand up. Yes. And you just follow me. Okay? Can everybody see me? Down in the back? Okay. Information. Come on. Information combined with emotion create a long-term memory. We're gonna do it one more time. Information combined with emotion create a long-term memory. So you need both great information and emotion, and the best way to get emotion is through a story. This is why people can spend 3, 4, 5 hours in front of that television. What is going on there? It's story after story after story. Before I had kids, I could watch 10 hours of Mad Men. Now I'm thinking, why did I do that? All right, you're welcome to sit down. So now you told them stories, they're emotionally involved, they're loving what you've given them. Now, the thing you're already experts at is coming. Give them that solution. And they're going, now I want that solution. So you want to create some actionable steps, something that they can see a picture. Okay, I got to do this. Something that's active. Anybody in here read the book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People?
Yes.
You have? All right, good. So I'm going to ask you a question. Do you remember one of the habits? Can you mention one of the habits?
Begin with the end in mind.
Begin with the end in mind. Very good. Give him a big hand. So good. See, that is one of the things. There's an action behind it. We can understand this. It's easy to understand. Okay, begin with the end in mind. What is the goal? You've got to do this so you're thinking through the process. We can relate to that. We can get a picture. Okay, this is our end. So if you can have some actionable steps that take action, it's much better. If you can have, let's say, a formula, you could be like me, the 5 S's I could have written up here. 5 S's, it's easy to remember. You could have a shape, for instance. Those things that make it memorable. But you gotta have steps and create pictures. We remember things in pictures. People that go to memory contests and remember tons of things and remember, 1,000 numbers, they create pictures. They don't remember the number. So if you create a picture, you are going to be remembered. Emotion plus a picture. If you don't remember it, it's because the emotion wasn't strong enough. Right? So make it simple and make it easy to do the first thing. Maybe it could be before you go home, do this, right? So you want to make sure that they take action right away. And the final point is sell. You want to remind them of the pain and the pleasure, and ultimately you would like to have a call to action, something they could do within the first 24 hours. Here it could be, okay, write down these 5 S's so you remember them for your next speech. Okay? Can you remember the 5 S's? Tell your partner, what are they? I want you to remember them. Finish, stop, struggle, story, solution, sell. Can you remember them? Let me hear. What's the first S in the system? Down here, we hadn't heard you guys. Do you remember one of them? The first S. Do you remember? What do you start with? Start. You start. Yeah, that's true. You start with the start. And in the start system, you have the A, the audience. You have to let us start, and you start with the audience. You tell them what's in it for the audience, because they need to know what's in it for them. So you start with the start. You got to wow your audience with a bang. Come right away. Okay, this is going to be interesting. I'm here. So you tune out and don't think about your dinner at home or whatever you would be thinking about elsewhere. You know, one time I went to a conference in Singapore, and I just thought it was sad how many people sat there and checked their email. I thought, you could learn that at home because the presentations were so boring. So start with the start. What's number 2? What's that? Struggle. You got it. Awesome. You got that one. What's the next one? Story. Invest in stories. And remember to put it in if you ever want to impact somebody. Gotta have a story. And the last point. Solution. There you go. And you already know that. You have the academic background. And the final point, what was that? Sell. Yes, you remind them of the pain. Make sure that they take some action. Remember to do this. If you want to be successful as a speaker, you got to use the 5S system. All right. I want to thank you because you've been an amazing audience. You participated. So give yourself a big hand. I would like to thank Nina, Mirella, and the other team. You know, I know a lot of people in here. So give them a big hand because they make this possible. And then I have my good friend Matthias here. He came to help today with filming. We also partnered up. He has a company where he makes sure that meetings become less boring, actually fun meetings. He has loads of exercises you can do. So if you want to network or talk to Matthias, you have a chance to do that. He's a very fun, interesting guy. You're not going to get an average kind of answer to your questions, so it's always fun calling him. So that's Matthias. Thank you, Matthias. Yeah. If you're up for it, Trustpilot, I would give you a challenge. If I could get, let's see if you Google me, and maybe if you had a good time here and you enjoyed it, maybe you would give me a review on Trustpilot. Anybody heard about Trustpilot? You heard about Trustpilot? Okay.
We're not allowed to.
You're not allowed to do that? Pity. Okay, you know what we're going to do? You need to improvise, because we're going to improvise in a little bit. You just add me on LinkedIn and give it to me there. Is that okay?
Yeah.
So I'm just going to write my name. That's a pity. You know, I thought I had a good joke here. Ask So, Asger Lindholm, that's my name. My surname on LinkedIn is Public Speaking Expert. Okay? So, you can quickly find me on either Asger Lindholm or Public Speaking Expert. Are you ready for doing a little selfie video? Would that be okay? I stand here and I yell a couple things and you be like, yeah.
Yeah.
Would that be all right? You know,
Yeah.
you trust Pilot? I can trust you. Good. So we're going to do a little selfie video. There we go.